Guys, dude, what I'm about to tell you is going to be one of the most mind-boggling things you have heard in your life. All right, and I promise you it is. You guys you're not going to believe that this is happening in America again. Share this video out. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit comments, share this out, put it on Twitter, put it on Parler. All right, so let me explain what's going on. My mind is blown right now, and I've been kind of at wit's end for a long time, right? I've been at wit's end trying to figure out where Patriots are, right? All these times, Patriots, you know, the Salem, Oregon Patriots, Portland, Oregon Patriots, Washington Patriots, they're always out there trying to get people to motivate, and they're not able to go. Do you know that right now, the domestic terror group ANTIFA has taken over the private hotel property in Fife, Washington on Christmas Eve morning? A group called Tacoma, let me put it up here so I get all my facts straight here. Where is it? A group called, Tacoma Housing Now. This is going to blow your mind. I promise you. This is a call to patriots right now is what I'm doing. And I never do this. A group called Tacoma Housing Now. Seemingly doing a nice thing, right? They went and supported a local business that has been horribly impacted by COVID. Right? You would think. A hotel owner, Fife, Washington, he gets a group that comes in and says they want to rent 16 hotel rooms. Now, travel and tourism in the United States has been immensely impacted by COVID pandemic, especially in Washington, where their liberal, dictatorship of a government has been shutting down everything. It's still going on right now. So, Christmas Eve morning, hotel owner Sean Randhawa, and I may be saying his name right or wrong, and I apologize, but he thinks it's a Christmas miracle, right? He has a group that comes in and says, hey, they want to buy just for one night, just Christmas Eve night, they want to buy 16 hotel rooms. So he rents them the 16 hotel rooms Christmas Eve. Christmas morning comes, it's time for checkout, and this group of domestic terrorists posing as homeless people refused to leave his hotel. So now it goes on. More Antifa show up at his hotel in illegally occupied rooms. The actual people who pay for the hotel room now are not staying there because even more protesters, as of right now, 43 illegal people or 43 domestic terrorists are occupying a hotel or occupying rooms in the hotel. When he tried to change the locks, they kicked in the doors. He is now threatening to turn off the heat and turn off the electricity. Actually, as of an article yesterday, he said he may be forced to fire his employees that he pays and has been able to pay to keep this business open. He may have to lay off 10 employees and abandon his own personal property because he reached out to the police department in Fife, Washington to get rid of these people. And although the chief says they're technically trespassing, but we're looking to find new homes for them. In Fife, Washington, right now, domestic terrorists have occupied an American business. Now, we saw in Chaz, domestic terrorists took over a couple of city blocks. It lasted a couple of days. It lasted a couple of weeks. People died. We saw Portland, Oregon. Domestic terrorists took over a couple of city blocks. The city caved in it, and now they're still doing it, and they're having shootings and all that stuff in that area as well. Now in Fife, Washington, you have a group of domestic terrorists that have taken over a hotel. The business owner is begging for someone to come in and help him, and nobody's doing it. This article, this is mind-boggling to me. And I tried to write an article. I couldn't do it. I was too pissed. So several homeless people have moved into over a dozen hotel rooms in Fife and are no longer paying for the accommodations, prompting the motel manager to seek assistance from city mission. See, this article is shitty because they don't do a good job in actually telling what actually goes on. Let me find the original article that I was reading. This one, it was yesterday. This is the original article about this in the News Tribune. It was written at 1 o'clock. A homeless advocacy group is occupying. How can you say they're an advocacy group when you say they're occupying someone else's personal property? Anyway, a homeless advocacy group is occupying a Fife motel without pay, and city police are looking to cooperate with them to find shelter. Tacoma Housing Now booked 16 rooms at the Fife, Washington motel at, and I don't say addresses once, but I'm going to do it now, 3518 Pacific Highway East on Thursday. Motel manager Sean Randhawa said, after paying for the initial night, the occupants have refused to pay or leave for 4 days now. Sean Randhawa said, I am devastated. Because of the protest, I have nothing else. I'm barely getting through this pandemic, and now this. This is Christmas, or this Christmas, the Grinch came. Fife Police Chief Pete Fisher said the group is trespassing. Rather than use force to remove the people, he wants to work with the organization. We're trying to see if we can work out a resolution without having to take law enforcement action, Fisher said. We're talking about people with medical issues, cold weather, that are homeless. So we're trying to work out our neighboring agencies to see what we could do in the form of relief or temporary shelter. Rebecca Parson, who apparently is a spokesperson for Tacoma Housing Now, said at least 5 people have died this year from exposure while living outside in Tacoma. She said there are positive COVID-19 cases at homeless shelters. I'll get to that in a second. And the group wanted a safe option for those with medical conditions. So they decided to, isn't it a theft? Isn't it a crime? Isn't it? I think it is. It's deception of an innkeeper or something like that. It's an actual crime to do that, right? Besides trespassing, this is a crime. They're committing a crime. They said we wanted someplace safe. There are people staying at motel rooms and about 60 protesters standing outside guarding this hotel. Parson said 2 more motel rooms of unhoused people, which are AKA drug addicts, scumbags, ANTIFA terrorists, have joined the protest, making the total of 18 rooms occupied. The Tacoma Housing Group now said they have housed 43 people at the motel. How you could say you housed anybody? Really, right now, what the federal government should do is decide enough is enough. And go in and go after Antifa, go after groups like Tacoma Housing Now, go after the other groups that I'm going to talk about here in a second, because this is far more widespread. The group insists they want their manager, Randhawa, to be paid. We paid for the first night, Christmas Eve, and then we are sending the bill to the county and the city, Parson said. Asked about a crime of trespassing, Parson said, well, the biggest crime of all is anybody dying of cold in the streets. Pierce County said they are looking into this, but they have not been in discussions with Tacoma Housing Now. Randhawa said he feels the group isn't giving him a choice and he doesn't feel supported by the police or the city. He said there was destruction of property when one of the doors was broken after he locked a motel room. They are keeping me hostage. No one is out here to help me. It's complete lawlessness in the city of Fife, he said. If the situation does not change in a few days, Randhawa said he will abandon the property and his 15 employees will stop showing up. I'll have to lock the doors, and if the city won't kick them out, they can have it, he said. I'll shut off the water. I'm not fighting with these people. I believe there should be law, he said. The organization took over the Galt Middle School in November to house those experiencing homelessness, but left after Tacoma police threatened to make arrests. Fife City Manager Hyun Kim told the News Tribune that he wants open dialogue between all parties. He wants to help those that are experiencing homelessness, but also worries about the small business. I would like to bring together partners to provide wraparound services to these people. I understand that some are sick, and a motel room is not an end-all be-all, he said. Occupying a private motel and potentially put them out of business is untenable. I fear for those who might lose their job. Then do your fucking job. Oh, my God. I call patriots. Go do your flag waves. You guys want to do peaceful flag waves all the time? Go do it directly in front of this motel. Enough is enough. Do a peaceful flag wave. I'm not condoning anything other than a peaceful flag wave directly in front. Show this homeowner that patriots care. That patriots care about what's going on. This is outrageous. This group, it's going down. Antifa, right? Seattle's Antifa group. This is what they've posted about this. We're on day 4. I guess this was yesterday they posted. On day 4, we're on day 4 of the hotel occupation after setting in for night 4. And then they do this whole thing about this article that I just read. Negotiations with the hotel owner, city, and county start tomorrow, but we have 50 to 70 people ready to defend if needed, they say. housing activists from Tacoma Housing Now, Seattle, the Yellow House, which was, just kicked out. Remember, that was outside of Chaz when they tried to do the occupied area of Cal Anderson Park a week ago, and Seattle police moved in, and the SWAT team moved in on the Yellow House. So now the organizers of that place are coordinating with the organizers of this domestic terror incident. What is different between this and the bombing in Nashville? This one, it's just not one person doing it. This is still domestic terror. When you have a group that is going into a business feeling that they can just say, you know what, we're here, we're not leaving, you guys aren't going to do anything. And then the city and the government and the county government does not do anything. Most of our medics on site are veterans of the recent far-right battles in Olympia that saw 2 anti-fascist protesters shot. They say we're also in chat with housing organizers from Philly, Ashland, Oregon, Medford, Oregon, El Sereno, California, and Los Angeles, trading tactics, they say. They're tweeting, dude, they're tweeting. Tacoma Housing Now is tweeting about this too. And one of the things this is a tweet from an hour ago. The property owner is crying a river on public media while privately working with us to put a funding request through. We spent a lot yesterday trying to get him paid. Get out of the hotel. I don't even know what to say. This is disgusting to me. This is disgusting. All you guys that were at Portland, Salem, Salem, Oregon, for that protest last week, I expect all of you to be getting in your cars right now and driving out and doing a patriotic flag wave in front of this and showing Sean Randhawa that America still has his back and that this is not tolerated. This Fife, Washington, and I never do this, Fife, Washington chief of police should be getting phone calls from patriots across the country that are worried about it. I am going to call an attorney and see if I hire a private security team and rent out all those rooms that I can go and evict those people. Matter of fact, oh my God, this is so wrong. If the Patriots in Portland and all that don't do anything about this, I don't know what to say about you guys. I had a caller last night. Remember a caller last night that said, what can we do? What can we do? We're not being taken seriously. This is a reason, because you have domestic terrorists that are taking over places and you're doing flag waves on city streets or outside of businesses because some guy gets fired, which is wrong, by the way. Doing the flag wave yesterday outside of that business because the guy got fired for calling a woman the B word. Shouldn't have done that in the first place, but he definitely should not have been fired because he wasn't at work. Anyway, do something conducive. Go outside of this place and do a patriotic flag wave right now. That's what I call. I am not advocating for violence. I'm not advocating for anything other than a very patriotic flag wave to let Sean Randhawa know that America has his back. I can't believe this. Oh, to top it off, I forgot the best part. Tacoma Housing Wow put out a press release about an hour ago. It said Tacoma Housing organizers are risking their lives, they say. Due to the city of Tacoma and Pierce County's refusal to do their jobs, Tacoma Housing Now organizers are risking their lives, they say. A Tacoma Housing Now organizer has tested positive for COVID this morning. Additionally, get this one. Additionally, a resident at the Travelodge has tested positive. They say they're risking their lives to defend residents at the Travelodge Hotel from eviction because of the refusal of the city of Tacoma and Pierce County to do their jobs and house the homeless. I want to remind everybody that they are illegally occupying a private business. It makes me wish so much that I lived within driving distance. It makes me wish that I own the hotel. Because I would love to come and see, people try to occupy something that I own. This is private property. This man, this business owner, this person, this employer of 10 other people deserves to have patriots show up and show support. That's all I have to say. I couldn't even write an article on this. But the Oregon, Washington patriots that are always asking what to do and how to get noticed and how to do the right notice, I am not condoning any violence. I am not saying you should be violent at all. Matter of fact, stand on the opposite side of the street. But go out there, show that you're support, show that it's wrong. Show that it's wrong. I'm going to call that hotel right now and see if I don't want to pay for these guys, but I'll offer to buy the owner dinner or something like that. This is unbelievable. City of Fife, Washington police chief. Please, dude, I back the police so hard. Do your damn job. Do your job. Clear out these people. The elected officials of that town, do your job. Clear out these people. Enough is enough. It's time that we start standing up for what is, it's not even what's right, it's what's common sense. Just another day that I'm ashamed of what America's become. This is what America's become. Damn.